ecosystem of our region. But when I learned of a threat looming beneath the surface, I became very concerned. And that threat is nutrient pollution. Fertilizers applied to our farms and lawns, as well as other urban debris, washes into our waterways during heavy storms, which is only getting worse with climate change. When these nutrients end up in our water, instead of feeding the crops, they feed something else, algae. This causes serious water quality degradation, reduces oxygen in our water, and can lead to serious fish kills like we've seen in Biscayne Bay in 2020, where thousands of fish floated ashore and to surface dead. Additionally, these water quality issues can lead to no swim advisories and beach closures due to the human health impacts they create. For coastal communities, we know that we depend on our water quality for our economy. Biscayne Bay alone is valued at contributing over $64 billion to our coastal economy. This is due to tourism, our property values, fisheries, and more. According to the EPA, algae blooms are the most widely occurring, most costly, most challenging environmental problem for the country. When I learned of this, I became deeply interested in sustainable agriculture. I started a nonprofit to work with local farmers in the region to help them adopt more organic practices and help with growing community gardens and urban farms. But I realized this wasn't enough to make an impact on our local water. And so I went to do my dissertation at FIU, where I sought to find a solution at this intersection. And what I found was super exciting, and my husband, and now co-founder, decided that we needed to work together to bring this solution to a reality with our combined startup experience working with data, products and operation management, and more. So, what's our solution? Well, to start, nature's got one, and that's wetlands. Perhaps many of you know about them. But they are being crowded out by development, as many of us know, especially when thinking about the Everglades in South Florida. Plants and wetlands naturally help filter nutrients out of water as it's washing from the land to the sea. But in crowded spaces, we can't fit traditional wetlands. And for this, we have an alternative. It's called floating treatment wetlands, which are essentially buoyant platforms leveraging the power of plants to filter water in place where it exists, especially in urban landscapes like stormwater ponds and canals, where we need to hold all the intense amounts of water coming in to protect our communities from flooding. However, in order to ensure that they have an efficient amount of nutrient removal, we need to harvest them regularly and maintenance them also for aesthetics. This can be labor intensive and costly. So that's where we come in. The Phytoflora approach uses what I'm calling productive floating wetlands to grow commercially viable crops, think hydroponics, to help us incentivize this harvesting, sustain it, and ensure that we are remediating our nutrients as efficiently and optimally as possible. So a little more details about floating wetlands. Essentially, by allowing ourselves to put plants on these floating platforms, the roots go directly into the water, and they are able to uptake dissolved pollutants, nutrients, that exist there naturally. In fact, they've been shown to be even more efficient occasionally, if not at least comparable, to traditional wetlands at removing these nutrients from water. And so, through my dissertation research, I started investigating crops such as cut flowers to see how well they were able to remediate water. And the lighting is a little off here, but the samples collected from tanks where we employed cut flowers to clean water was able to mitigate the algae and the algae blooms that occurred in tanks that did not have flowers on them, comparable to wetland plants. So our revenue model is largely based off of the sales that we would make from growing and selling byproducts like cut flowers, which would realize 15 to 20% annual returns after we make back our investment on the equipment. We can also earn revenue through service fees by tracking nutrient remediation, which is a growing industry where nutrient credits are starting to be provided to folks who can show that they're reducing their outputs. And also very important for folks in highly regulated watershed areas. Additionally, we can leverage grants that are helping with water quality restoration, and ideally we can also create our own unique platform that we can sell to other water quality providers. So our traction to date includes the scientific research I did in my dissertation, which showed the types of flowers that have done really well, and I believe there's even more to be discovered. I'm excited and grateful to have had media coverage from NBC and the Miami Herald, which has brought on cities like the city of Pinecrest and North Miami interested in helping pilot and scale our installations. Not to mention the folks including Coral Gables who we worked with as a part of my research as well. So Phytoflora stands out in our ability to restore our waterways by being a nature-based solution, or not only a nature-based solution, but also having the capacity to scale easier because of the revenue that we can generate through the crops that we're growing. Our primary clients are essentially anyone with water. This includes municipalities, farms that have water on their property, and other types of private property owners. And our secondary clients are those who we sell our products to, such as florists. Flowers, you say, can you make money? Well, yes. It's the floriculture market alone is over a $52 billion industry for the US, and it turns out the cut flower industry is hubs right here in Miami, with over 90% of our flowers imported through the Miami International Airport, and a significant amount of infrastructure creating, assembling, and shipping in pays across the country. So we're targeting just 1% of those sales, but I believe we our eco-friendly, sustainable flowers can really capture a lot from that. So our projections right now show that with every acre that we're growing, we can generate nearly 400K, and of course this will grow and scale as we scale our acreage. Our costs right here are primarily labor, which I believe is exciting because we're also providing jobs with the local community. They don't currently include platform costs, which is something that as a part of this experience, I'm looking to find ways to leverage, reduce costs, and manufacture maybe even our own version. So finally, I'm here excited to share with you all today. Happy to wrap up, I'm sure. Looking for folks who are interested in cleaning their water, improving their water quality, engineers and manufacturers interested in creating an optimal platform, philanthropic contributions toward this process, which you can find our GoFundMe on this link, and partners to help us apply to get these funds and really bring flowers across our region and beyond to clean our water quality. Thank you.
One question for you, maybe? Yeah. Anyone? Okay, everyone's eager to get to the drinks now.